Hello guys, it's Bravos here, and well, today, I don't know what it was, but I had a really strange fascination for creepypastas. And one that really caught my eye was the Funnymouth Creepypasta, and I actually have a little story to tell. Um, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read you off the entire story, and then I'm gonna tell you about the story that I had concluding this creepypasta. And it was kind of strange, to be honest. I really don't know what to make of it. But let's start. So first of all, I'm gonna have pictures of this chat room up. So Funnymouth has joined hashtag refer sales. Funnymouth. Hello everyone tonight. I like to lick blood out of in the person. I see your handsome face. Don't be so sad about it. Come on, smiley face. Funnymouth has left hashtag refer sales. Ghost George. Holy fuck, what the fuck? Lemon Lime Skull is the person that is this part of the story and is the person that like did all that. Did that just happen? Ghost George. Yes, Skull. yeah, it did. The first thing I should probably note is that I'm Lemon Lime Skull. In other words, that's my scream name up there. That was the first time I saw or heard from Funnymouth, and for all intents and purposes, it should have been the last. Anyone who spent enough time chatting away knows the weirdos come and go. Folks pop in to ask insane questions, or just troll a populated channel. What first struck me as odd about the Funnymouth guy, however, was the fact that he came and went, with no particular goal. He didn't try to piss anyone off. He didn't ask if anyone on the channel knew how to fix his computer or remove a virus. He just stuck his head in, rattled off some random texts, and happily fucked off. Lemon Lime Skull. So really though, what the fuck was that? What the hell? Huh, not a clue. Lemon Lime Skull. He's in another channel if you want to find out. Lemon Lime Skull. Hashtag blood. That's a little laugh. Ghost George. I do not, sir. XD face. Bitch. I do not know what results I expected from following this guy to another channel. I'm not the type that goes out of his way to annoy or argue with people. I'll usually avoid it at all costs. Though, once someone starts with me, I don't mind getting in it at that point. I guess what I'm saying is, I have no idea why I pursued this. Back to the chat room. Lemon Lime Skull has entered. Hashtag blood. Lemon Lime Skull. Hey. He was sitting there in the channel by himself. It's kind of awkward. Funnymouth. Staring face. Lemon Lime Skull. Happy face. So, ... Staring face. So, you're staring at me? That's a bit rude. Sorry, I just do it. It's okay. I see. Staring face. I actually chuckled out loud at this point. He was weird and inoffensive. Lemon Lime Skull. You can come back into hashtag refer sales if you want. We're not going to boot you if that's what you're worried about. Staring face. Or not. Whatever. Man, you just seemed interesting and I'm pretty bored tonight. I am broad too. Night too. I always don't. You always don't what? I always don't, that's it. I always don't because they don't, and then I get silly. Okay, well, I'll see you around, man. Staring face. And with that, I left. The act got old pretty fast, and I felt either this was someone trying too hard, or a legitimate moron who was just unaware of how to properly use a chat program. Sitting idly by yourself and popping into other channels for a split second seemed like a desperate bid for attention. I might have done that and laughed my ass off in or around the 90s, but yeah, that's pretty stupid. Ghost George. Lemon Lime Skull. Nothing. I seriously don't know what he was saying. Welcome to the internet. What's sad is that beside you and me, this guy's the only active user here all night. Lemon Lime Skull kicks Kill Jay and shouts, "Wake up!" Blah. Silence dominated the channel for about half an hour as I minimized the window and went about my business. Anyone on? Nothing. 8 users in the channel, and not a single one active. Boring. Why are you people all so boring? Staring face. Wake up! Lemon Lime Skull puts everyone's hand in a bowl of warm water. It took me a few seconds to see it. Funnymouth again, staring again. I physically slumped my shoulders with not this shit again sigh. Then I noticed he wasn't in the channel. Question mark. ... Anyone else see him? Of course not, because you are idle. Obviously, it was a glitch with either my client or the server. The message was kicked up from earlier in the night at random. These things happen. Still, it creeped the hell out of me. After a few minutes of sitting there with a really cold, creepy feeling in my stomach that I shouldn't have done something, that feeling, I decided to stop trying to be brave, to brave it out, and just closed out the entire chat program. Sure, I could have just hung out like everything was fine, but why bother? Try to prove I wasn't spooked. Hell, nobody was even around to see my slink away. After a few hours more screwing around on the web, went to bed around 2:40 a.m. like usual. One thing I've always prided myself on is that I do not have nightmares. At least not regularly. Usually if there are monsters or ghosts or nuclear wars in my dream, I get to control it and have a great time. I'm shooting zombies in the face, outright telling ghosts they're not real, while I laugh at them, and if there's some disaster, I always know how to get up to a safe spot while every other motherfucker fries. I've had 4 actual nightmares in the past 10 years. And yes, I'm completely serious. The first nightmare of my adult life was 2005. I just broken off a relationship with someone who had been with someone else for over a year behind my back. That night, when I finally did get to sleep, I dreamt she was strapped down to a medical table while some sort of unseen and inexplicable creature sucked her brain out through an organic machine. The brain screamed ceaselessly. The second nightmare had me visiting a medical facility where they were experimenting with new methods of saving lives. There was a fantastic tour of this high-tech facility, lots of wonders of modern science, people in lab coats, etc. Then I was led to a room with 3 car crash victims had been saved by their techniques. This included a slowly rocking young girl whose face had been completely distended and hung around her chest. A woman who was nothing but a cluster of twitching severed limbs, all held together by a drawn-out kite-like span of flesh. The third came soon, after the second. I was being accosted by 2 people, one who wanted to insult me to no end, and the other who kept trying to pinch and tweak me in absurdly ineffective ways. Thinking I could control this dream like others, I set the 2 men against each other, thinking it would be some sort of poetic justice. Instead, the pincher became increasingly violent, until he was pulling at the other's cheeks, grabbing his tongue in a fist, and furiously pulling it out until it came out. Then he pulled the fellow's eyelids and then distended in some sort of grotesque prolapse. I suppose that I'm getting I suppose what I am getting at is that even when I did have nightmares, I was never the actual target of any sort of horror. It's always been kind of an empathetic horror related to someone else getting brutalized. This night, however, was different. As soon as I fell asleep, I started dreaming. Basically, it was a reoccurring dream. I have where I'm in the woods, just checking out animals and birds, and generally acting chill. I lie in the grass and look up at the sky. It's always been a dream I welcome, because even if I've had a shit day, I'll wake up and be happy and ready to start over. This time, the script changed. I laid in the grass, but while I was staring at the sky, I felt something really odd. It was a cold, squirming feeling on the back of my neck. In the dream, I reached to my neck and pulled away a long, withering earthworm. Earthworms disgust me. If I see one in the yard, I'll specifically get a shovel and heap dirt over it, so I don't accidentally see it again. Disgusted, but more or less content, I flung the worm aside and continued my dream. Then, that feeling came again, clammy, wet, wiggling against the side of my neck. I pulled another worm away. Again it happened. The third time the feeling of confusion and dread became so overwhelming that I immediately snapped myself out of the dream. That's what usually happens when shit gets real in my dreams. Game over. I figured it out. At least I thought I had in the waking world. I felt my neck and discovered a slick, slimy film on my neck. Logic dictated that I must have been drooling in my sleep. Nothing to be proud of, but not exactly terrifying either. My dreaming mind must have translated the icky feeling into an appropriate creature in the forest dream. Perhaps more unsettling, though, was the fact that the bed around me seemed to have indentations, 4 to be exact. It was almost as if someone. It was almost as if someone on hands and knees had been hovering over me as I slept. There we go. There was any number of reasons that could have happened, but from then on, that night, I slept very lightly. Any little thing, like the sound of a ceiling fan, would wake me up straight away. I had no real interest in going back to the woods that night. When morning came around, I got ready to take off, to get out of the house, shake the cobwebs out. I only planned to check my email really quick to make sure I didn't have any pending transactions or requests I had to answer. Surprise! From Funnymouth at blood.com. Saturday, November 17th, 2012, at 2:42 a.m. To Charles Watts. I had a good time to talk to you. It can be fun again. You'll see what I don't like. Stop. As you probably recall, I hadn't given this asshat my email address. However, logical answer, someone else on the channel must have. He obviously came back to refer sales as someone who I was, and that douchebag completely betrayed me, knowing I don't give out my personal contact info. Although the email was dated at 2:40, that was pretty much the moment I went to bed, when everyone on the channel was still idle. Even though I well and truly knew I was taking some sort of bait, I responded. From Charles Watts to Funnymouth. Yeah, bro, not exactly sure I want you emailing me. It was clear at this point there was no mistaking the message I was sending. And though it was snippy, I wasn't goading him into replying by starting a flame war. But of course, he replied, "Come on, don't be so sad about it. I know you could like it. We will have fun a lot of time. It's okay, even." And with that, I blocked his address. Really, I should have done that in the first place, but I still had some sick sort of interest in exactly where this was going. Maybe if I put my foot down, he would admit he was just screwing around and call me a humorless wet blanket. When I saw it was just the same old bullshit, they gave me the green light to go ahead and shut the guy out. For what it's worth, you can relax at this point. The blocking stuck. There was no follow-up message circumventing the ban. After a few minutes, I assured myself that it was all over, and I went about my day. It wasn't until I got home at dusk that the cold, squirming feeling in my stomach started all over again. I had no idea why. Well, that's not entirely true. I had some idea. I checked my email. Nothing from Funnymouth. However, there was an email from George. "Hey, refersales.com is fucked up. I can't get the shit to load. When you're online, please look ASAP. Peace and carrots, George." I let out a string of curses. Downtime meant lost sales. I'd been out all day, no way for George to contact me. If I'd been a little less strict with my personal info, he could have just called me. I loaded the site and waited for some sort of error screen. Instead, I was rerouted to another page. Blood.com. Yeah, I see it. It's redirecting me to a website with a giant pixelated face with a messed up tongue. I think this had to be Funnymouth. I think it had to be that Funnymouth piece of shit. Did you give him my email with the domain in it? CW. Dude, it's the 404 page, not a redirect. I want what you're smoking. All I get on blood.com is a coming soon notice. I didn't give anyone shit. Har har har, funny. Blood.com. You could have easily faked it. But why? I mean, if this was some sort of joke, it's pretty abstract. I didn't get it. When I looked at my website files, everything was normal. Nothing was out of place. Nothing had even been logged into to change anything. I checked the domain's name servers, the thing that routes into where it's supposed to go, and nothing was out of sorts. Still, there was this bloated tongue waving face looking back at me with its empty eye sockets. Then I don't know how I missed it in the first place. Looking closely at the picture wasn't really pixelated. It was more of tiny letters, HTML code coloring each letter specific to the image. Over and over, the word that made up the image was right in front of me. Funny mouth, funny mouth, funny mouth, funny mouth, in a great cluster of nonsense. I felt like spitting at the screen. I blocked his email address and set about writing an incredibly profane and threatening letter. I didn't really care if I got the site back at this point. I just wanted to get everything off my chest so I could feel as if I was in control of the situation. Before I could finish the letter, I just got this weird, creepy feeling again that, no, it couldn't be feeling, where you know you're being absurd, but at the same time, you know you are right. I stopped hacking out my death threats and checked the inbox. Message from Funnymouth. I see your handsome face. Hello, buddy. Come on. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. I don't want to not. I don't think about it, please, though. I see your handsome face. Not only was that feeling correct, the feeling that he had already emailed me the minute I unblocked him, but it seemed he had steadily been emailing nonstop since I blocked him. 10 more letters arrived just in the time span it took me to reply. Fucking stop! I was getting a stress headache. My heart pounded, not from fear, but rage. This was probably the most absurd, infuriating person on the internet. I'm not saying a lot. Thankfully, the string of letters did indeed stop. I tried to calm myself down, breathing deeply, but it didn't seem to take. I was still incredibly pissed off. Slowly, methodically, I sent him another note. Hi, I don't understand what you are saying. I do not understand what you want. I think there may be a language barrier. Is your first language English? I think you have done something to my website, and I would like you to undo it. If you're mad at me, I did not intend this to happen. You may have misunderstood what I said, or what I meant. Please change my website back, and let's please go both our separate ways. Thank you, CW. I waited. I thought about how I'd conquered my anger, and that this measured response was really the best way to go about it. This fellow would understand what I meant. He'd realize the mistake he made. I calmed down. Everything was going to be okay. Then, a message from Funnymouth. Staring face. I hit the roof. I hit the goddamn roof and went clear through it. I smacked the monitor with my palm, knocking it clear off the desk. That pissed me off even more as I drove my fist into the keyboard, repeatedly until the keys flew free. I screamed out in a mixture of frustration with myself and rage over the situation and stormed out of the room, knocking down anything and everything I could get my hands on. For as long as I could manage the energy, I laid waste to my own shit. I would have started a fire and burned the fucking place down if I had a lighter on hand. That night, I stared at the ceiling for what felt like an eternity before sleep came. Waiting for sleep, I knew I was going to have a nightmare. I just knew it. That's how my luck was going. Imagine how surprised I was, even in sleep, when instead of some horrific setting, I was someplace safe, the woods. I laid in the grass again, and I felt the relaxation. I knew, even my subconscious knew, that everything would be okay, no matter what setbacks life threw at me. The world would go on, nothing was permanent, everything was in transition. Nobody could really get to me. I felt the squirming against my neck again. Nope, no dice. Nothing could spoil this right now. I ignored the room. It would go away. I felt the squirming move to my mouth. Now I couldn't will myself awake. Every other time I'd been able to decide to wake up, but it seemed like the opportunity had now passed. Then it wasn't a worm, it was a finger. And then another. And then until 4 slimy, squirming digits were locked around my teeth, clutching my lower jaw. It didn't hurt when it happened. It was just sort of like a pop. More pressure than pain. It was quick. And before I knew it, what was going on, it was over. I then managed to force myself awake. I sat up, got to my feet, in the complete darkness, feeling my way around the walls. I I made my way into the bathroom. There, I finally flicked the light switch. I stood before the mirror, rubbing my eyes as the harsh light blinded me. I stared in the mirror for minutes on end with no reaction, no feelings, and no thoughts. And then I smiled. I smiled as best I could, now that my jaw was completely broken, hanging loose around my neck. My tongue lolled out listlessly, like a paralyzed, gooey slug. My teeth weren't rooted in anything but threads of flesh, and I could pull them out by hand with about the same discomfort as a needle prick. I laughed, the halting sound coming out like a gurgle of a backed-up sewer drain. What a handsome face! What a funny mouth! A funny mouth! A funny mouth! Funny mouth! Funny mouth! Lemon Lime Skull has joined Refer Sales. Lemon Lime Skull, I see your handsome face. Don't be so sad about it, smiley face. Hey, where the fuck were you? Hello, Charles? Lemon Lime Skull, staring face. Lemon Lime Skull has left Refer Sales. And that was it. Alright guys, well, if you like that, check it out on its wiki. Now, if you watched it all the way through, what I'm going to tell you is I had a little run-in with Funnymouth. I wanted to see if this email actually worked. So, I emailed funnymouth@blued.com. Now, this is what I got back. And if you guys are interested, I will screenshot and put this on the video. Okay, so I got back this first, it's called Mail Delivery Subsystem Message. And it almost looked more like a government message because it told me, it literally said right here, this is not an automatically generated, this is an automatically generated delivery status notification. This is a warning message only. You do not need to resend your message in capital letters. Delivery to the following recipient the recipient has been delayed. Funnymouth@blood.com. Message will be retried for 1 or more days. And then it went on with the regular HTML bullshit. So that went on for quite a while. And then the next day, I got this other message. Delivery to the following recipient failed permanently in capital letters. Funnymouth@blood.com. Technical details of permanent failure. And then it gives me this Google thing. And then I was fucking around with I was just looking for some weird stuff in the HTML text in this message. I didn't really find anything. No, I didn't really find anything. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I got that. It was just strange how I sent this message. I got all these different subsystem messages telling me not to email funnymouth@blood.com again. It told me permanently, and this is a warning message only. You do not need to resend your message. That's kind of intense, and it kind of worries me. It's kind of scary, and I think my Google account was somehow trying to protect me. I'm not sure, but I actually went ahead and emailed funnymouth@blood.com on my iCloud email, which I'm not telling you guys that. It scared me because I didn't get a failed delivery subsystem message. I didn't get a message back at all. And somehow, in the back of my mind, this creepypasta could actually be real. It's just kind of scary because I'm kind of worried now. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this creepypasta, and if you guys really want me to make more, I can. Sorry for the stuttering. I'm still learning how to do this. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. You've been great viewers. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.